Hi, my name is Leslie, and I am here to talk to you guys about why video games should be banned. Now, video games are a big part of a kid's childhood, regardless if it's a boy or a girl. Both genders play games. Now, young boys especially, they play a lot of strategy games, games like Call of Duty, more of the violent games. Now, girls do tend to play those, but it's mostly towards younger boys that play these type of games. Apart from strategy games, there's also adventure games and, like I said, violent games that include killing people, fighting people, hunting people down, killing people with objects. It's sometimes very graphic in these type of videos. Now, according to an article on procon.org, which was last updated on 2018, it showed a list of pros and cons that video games have on young boys. Now, the main three types of effects that violent video games have on younger boys are first, aggressive and bully and fighting among young boys. Second, it influences real life violent behavior. And three, there's connections between perpetrators and violent video games. So the first one, aggressiveness, bullying, and fighting. Now, in this article, it said about 60% of middle boys and about 40% of middle school girls play M-rated games. So within those percentages, those kids that are playing those M-rated games are more likely to beat somebody up, hit somebody. And there's also been a study done in the Journal of the American Medical Associations that stated that there was a link and an increased long-term aggressive behavior with these type of violent games. Now, another thing that the article stated was that there was some peer-reviewed studies on the connection between violent video games and real-life violent behaviors. Now, within the connection, they were able to say or state that these kids are more likely to bully kids, also do cyberbullying, which is obviously not okay. They are more likely to be physical in fights, be hostile, argue with teachers, argue with parents, with friends, more likely to want to argue or fight with somebody, and they're more likely to also show some type of aggressiveness towards their peers throughout their high school year in school and also to their families and friends. Now, some medical associations like pediatricians, parents, and some other researchers also have stated that these games, there is a link between violent video games and the aggressiveness and just rude behavior of these young kids. Now, my second point is that these games can cause real life violent behaviors. Now, in these video games like Call of Duty, there's a lot of shooting. Obviously, with the control that they play, either through Xbox, a PS3, or PS4, there's a lot of strategy in with the control and being able to work the gun. Now, these games, there's stabbing, there's shooting, there's dismembering somebody with an object. So it gets pretty violent. Now, some examples that has been tragic was that there's two teenagers in Tennessee that shot passing cars and it killed a driver. And when they were arrested, the kids told the police that behavior, that the reason they did what they did was because they got the idea from a video game, Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, there's also a psychologist professor, his name is Bruce Bartholow, that said, quote unquote, more than any other media, these video games encourage active participation in violence. From a physiological perspective, video games are an excellent teaching tool because they reward players for engaging in certain types of behavior. Unfortunately, in many popular video games, that behavior is violent, which is, it raised a lot of red flags. Now, my final point is that there was a lot of perpetrators of mass shootings that relate to violent video games. I have some examples for you. The teenage shootings that happened in 1999 in Columbine High School massacre was related to these video games. A young boy named James Holmes that shot up a Colorado movie theater said that he was influenced through video games, through violent video games. Now, another case, Jared Lee Lauer in Arizona killed Gabby Gilfords and 6 others, and also said that the reason he acted the way he did was because of violent video games. So what I want you guys to take away from this is to open your eyes and see the connection that many professors and many medical professors like pediatricians that have made that video games do lead to these connections of aggressive behavior, more likely to bully, more likely to fight people, and it also causes real life violent behavior. And then with all these examples of these mass shootings that are really real and are currently happening here in the present time, it's you know, the connection is there, and we just have to ban these video games, or at least restrict what is being put out there for young boys or for young girls as well. It's not just boys, but since boys are more likely to play video games, most of these examples are orbiting around young boys. But it could also be girls, but it's more common in young boys. So I want you guys to step back, take a look at the facts, and see what is happening because of these violent video games. Thank you.